Hello everybody, and welcome back. And I need to apologize sincerely to all of you regarding the German destroyers. A couple days ago, they lifted the embargo, gave us the German destroyers and said, go ahead, make your content. And that's what we did. Tested the ships, made our content, and of course uploaded the video. Of course, we had impressions of the ships, after the embargo got lifted. And generally speaking, even though yes, there are still some changes that can happen, nothing major usually gets changed. I mean, the overall ship should still be the same. Unfortunately, this time, that didn't happen. From the time that we tested them after the embargo got lifted and the videos came out to the actual ships hitting the patch, the live server patch, which was like 2 days, some pretty substantial changes have happened. So first up, let's take a look at the Z52. And by the way, I am really sorry about this. If those of you who've gone out and spent your own doubloons and free XP to some of these ships, I apologize. I mean, I wish there was something I could do. I just wish there was something else I could have done. But unfortunately, this change happened, and it changed these ships quite a bit. So Z52, for example, now this is a ship that I thought did need a change because she was really overpowered in her original state with a huge stealth fire. She's lost it. In fact, the German destroyers as a whole have pretty much lost all their capability to do any kind of stealth firing. The Z52 kind of maintains it a little bit because she still has access to that range module, so she still gets a bit, but it's not that big anymore. If you take a look at the German destroyers as a whole, their detectability after firing their main guns, that particular stat, increased essentially twofold. So now on an 8.1 kilometer surface detect on the Z52, if you fire your guns, now it's 15.4 is where you get detected. So yes, if you build full concealment and everything and you get that range module, you'll still get a little bit on the Z52. It's nothing like it used to be. So, and that happens to all the ships. I mean, if you take a look at something like the Z23, now she has absolutely no chance to stealth fire. 15.9 on a 7.9 kilometer stock detectability. Of course, this is with the 150s. I think the 128s are the same as well. Huge increases to surface detectability after you fire your guns. In fact, it's even more than the 203mm guns that the heavy cruisers are packing. So, yeah, there are going to be heavy cruisers that can stealth fire while these German destroyers can't. So, while for the Z52, I understand ships like the Z23, ships like the Liebrecht Maas, which I thought actually needed just that little bit of stealth fire capability, just to have that better, I guess, penalty, like a better number of the penalty. So when you fire your guns, you're not as easily detected. I thought that was kind of important for some of these other ships. They do need it. These German destroyers, these are bigger ships. If you get detected, you are going to get shot at. They're bigger, they're less agile. So I thought it was actually kind of important for them to have some of it, but now it's all gone, even down to the tier 2. Tier 2, you have 5.4 surface detect, and the penalty is huge. After you fire your main guns, detectability is now 12 kilometers. So I don't know. This change kind of changes everything about these ships. In my previous video, I said something like the Z23 is okay with the 150mm setup, might be even better with the 150 setup. Well, that was before this huge change. Now with this change, I might say you might just want to stick with 128s, just maybe get some benefit from BFT, AFT, instead of going for 150s. In fact, the 150mm setups I don't even think are viable at all anymore. They're too much of a penalty now in terms of firing your guns, that using them is just going to make you this huge target for other things to shoot at, and just not a good thing anymore. I mean, can I say I'm really disappointed? Yeah. I just really disappointed that this change kind of happened, without us being told that something like this was happening. And I'm sure there are people out there who took our initial impressions and went, yeah, these ships are great, and then they went for it, and then now they might be going, huh, what's going on? That detectability nerf. To compensate, sorry, I am starting to lose my voice a little bit today, but in terms of compensation for that huge nerf to detectability, they've given the tier 8, 9, and 10 the steering gears mod 3. So yes, you can have a fast rudder that you can use to avoid stuff now, and I guess that's something. So at least for tier 8 and 9, maybe you're going to have a good rudder there, maybe that can help you out, but what about the 6 and 7s, and so on and so forth? I mean, the lower tier ships don't get it, and I thought they needed that stealth fire, just a little bit, or at least a better concealment in order to survive. Now they don't get that anymore. So you might get to the tier 7, which I initially thought was a good ship, and you might be very disappointed in her. Maybe she's not that good anymore. Right. Other changes, I do believe the Z-52 was given the German sonar back, so yes, she does get a slightly better sonar than the other ships on the line. Yeah, but all in all, huge changes to the way these ships played. Now, getting to closer ranges and trying to, well, being forced out into closer ranges to engage is quite risky and quite dangerous. Also, you know, like these ships are big, they're going to be easier targets. They also happen to be quite wide. A lot of the German destroyers also happen to be quite wide. So that also suggests that if other destroyers were to use AP against you, maybe they'll get penetration damage. So that's not a good thing. You don't want to get into those kind of close in gun duels with other destroyers. You might not win those. Actually, good chance you won't win those because, oh, I forgot to mention, you remember how the HE is also incredibly weak, right? On the German destroyers, if you use the 128s, you have the weakest HE out of all the destroyer guns. So now, taking away your ability to kind of stay off a little bit more, stand off at range, they're trying to force these ships to come in closer, at a range where they're not ideally suited. So would I still recommend you guys to go down this line? The answer is probably no. Right now, although again they mentioned in 2017 there might be brand new captain skills, so there's a potential. I'm only saying potential now because we don't know what's going to happen, but there's a potential that maybe with the new captain skills, or maybe that rumored stealth fire nerf that's happening, maybe when all that happens, maybe we'll see a German destroyer line that's worth playing. But right now, I guess the tiers 2, 3, and 4 might still be okay, but you might want to be a little bit more wary of the higher tier ships. Anyways, everybody, I'm really, really sorry about this. It was just something unexpected, and I apologize if you guys got the wrong impression from my videos, and just I wish I could have done something ahead of time to warn you guys about it. Anyways, take care, everybody. I hope you have a good one, and look forward to a North Carolina video coming soon from the time that I visit the museum. Anyways, take care, folks, and I'll talk to all of you again soon.